Hi everyone, hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. Mine's not been too bad. It seemed to run better than last week in terms of how long my days have been. So yeah, but been really hot weather. It does slow you down. You definitely need to drink more. And obviously drinking more means you need to stop and have toilet breaks, but we get through that. Next week I believe it's going to be cooler, maybe a bit of rain, so I am looking forward to that, I must admit. I do prefer the cooler weather. So anyway, what we're going to talk about today? Well, today what we're going to go through is basically talking about branding. Is it important? Well, to me, I think it is. And what I'm going to cover is how branding can make you more appealing. It can help sift out customers, get you recognised. If you look the part, you feel the part, shows you in for the long haul. How to make and protect your branding, marketing and reputation. So first one then we'll go over through is why branding is important to me. When I first started, I knew I've got to get a van, get it sign written, because that's what I wanted. And I wanted to look the part because for me to get customers, I knew I'm going to have to go out. And I felt I was going to achieve that with a sign written van. So from day one, I wanted everything done. And then obviously you realise you got your flyers, your business cards. I wanted a website as well. So again, I made up a logo, branding, and put it on everything basically. And it just shows that I mean business. So by having a branding, I think it makes you more appealing to customers. So therefore, you stand out a bit different to some of your competitors, so they're more likely to pick you. So that's why I went for it. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. I do get that some people don't like having a sign written van because it attracts your van being nicked perhaps. But for me, I thought I don't want to hide that. I want to say this is me, this is who I am, and get me recognised. So another good thing is having branding like on your van, your clothing, that sort of thing, is to me it also helps sift out, or it's a sifter for your customers. So because you look the part, I just feel like it's not, someone can't try it on you to get it, you to knock down the best price, that sort of thing, or expect you to do it for a fiver, because you've got all the gear and you look the part, your branding, you mean business. I think it'll put some people off who are going to be like that with you and attract again the customers that are out to find you. So it should, to me, help work find you rather than you going out finding work all the time. So again, that's another thing why I think branding was big and important. So again, with your branding then, it's going to make you stand out from the crowd. Or I feel it will, because again you look different and you look the part. Your van's going to be more easily recognisable, especially when you start going to Pacific areas on Pacific days. People are going to see you a mile off, they're going to know who you are, and they're going to keep an eye out for your van, because everyone sort of like runs across the road somewhere, not everyone, but those that walk up to you say, I've been meaning to get you, but you're sort of like gone by the time I come out of the house. So they're looking for your van, they're looking for you because you stand out. And again, with your branding, that could be on your clothing, everything. So like I said, if you look the part, you feel the part. So for when I first started, I felt quite good actually to have a van with my name on it. I know my name weren't in the cinema, in the movies or anything, but it was on the side of my van. So yeah, it gave me a bit of oomph really, and made me feel again the part of I'm in the big wide world, rather than I'm day one window cleaning, no customers sort of feeling. It sort of helped me feel a bit more confident. So yeah, look the part, feel the part. What you need though when you're doing your branding is a consistent look. So you want it on your, just bear with me, on your website, if it'll load up. Here we go. Here's my website. That's a picture of my van, by the way. So that's all my branding on the side of the van. And yeah, I use exactly the same thing on my van as I have on my flyers, my business cards, and again, like I said, all my clothing. I'll just try and get that back up for you. So here's a picture of the van, and that's my website. And I've tried to get the colour scheme, everything all the same, which is what you're going to see when I start showing all my business cards, which I might as well do now, to be honest. So you wouldn't think I've done all this. Where have we gone? Photos. Right, here we go. Sorry, I've got the wrong one and I haven't pressed a button on my Stream Deck. So here we are. This is me. This is my business cards. You'll see on the top one, that's the front of my business card, and underneath it I've got a picture basically of the back of the business card. So again, you've probably seen on the side of my van, there's my logo, crystal clean windows, and then I've put a tagline. It's probably really original that, but professional window cleaning services. It's repeated on the back, but on the back of the card I've basically put all the services that I wanted to provide from day one, which is what I made sure I could achieve those, getting all the kit and equipment as well. And I've put them on all my flyers, my business cards again, as well as on my website. So it's advertising there. And then I've got my contact details. So there's my telephone number, my email, and then the address to get to my website. So moving on then from my cards, I'll show you the flyers I've done. This is my main flyer, which is what I did originally for day one. And I couldn't work out at the time how to get pictures, so that was the best picture I could get of my van at the time, which is from the guy that did the sign writing on my van. Thanks, Jed. Here we go, that's better. Yeah, I'll probably have to go over my website. It's only been 5 years, so there's bound to be spelling mistakes that slip through the net. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go over that because it can probably be embarrassing. But then again, that's why some people might think I'm a window cleaner. But yeah, the logo and everything, I tried to get the colours done. I'll go over how I got that. It was quite straightforward. But going back to my flyer anyway, it's just advertising my services, and it's got the contact details on there again. But on the back, this was the back of it there. I just tried to put a little bit about myself because I was in the military for 23 years. And then tried to give a description about the water-fed pole on the back, thinking more in a nutshell to people who've never had it before. And then the benefits that I've listed down there, and again to my website. Because when I first started, what I went looking for the customers was obviously going out in my van with these flyers, and I was targeting areas where I was trying to build up the rounds in my local area, obviously. And I'd just go around, walk up, knock on the door. If there was no answer, I'd put a flyer through the door. If there was an answer, I'd then obviously explain that I'm a new window cleaner in the area, starting up around. Do they have a window cleaner? And if they said yes, I'd say sorry to bother you, and I'd be on my way. If there was no, I'd say, would you be interested in more, or possibly me giving you a quote? And then I took it all from there. But obviously, a lot of the people were at work. I did catch people who were in. It's mainly people who are retired and such. But yeah, it was a better success rate knocking on doors than it was putting the leaflets through. And so I've still got a lot of them leaflets left, because I found out it was taking me days to do areas and going out. But I'm just a big believer that if I went out with my van, all my branding's on the side, that alone would be a bit of advertising as well, and just to get out there and get it. Right, just to show you the branding I've got as well is on these cards. So in the early days when I visited, especially if someone didn't have a website, emails, or use text messages, which some people do not like to use. So I explained that I could leave a card through the door so they know I've been that day, so it's proof I'd been. And then I just tick the service I've done, and also using the ticks boxes here for the services, it was advertising the services I was providing, so it's a bit of advertising as well. And then I left a box just where I could write the amount of money and put the actual date on it as well, and then I'd post that through the door. On the back of the card, again, I just had in a nutshell all the different payment methods as a reminder there for them for when I put it through the door. And that's basically what I went for. I used Vistaprint on all these, and I designed it myself using Photoshop, but you could probably use Canva or anything else. Just look things up in YouTube, of all places. That's probably the best place to go. We'll probably all do it. Thanks very much, Type Marker. Thank you. And yeah, just get an inspiration. But I try to use the same colour scheme for my van, for my websites, on everything, just to give it a more consistent look. Get rid of these. And then also just going back here to my business cards. I think business cards are better than flyers. They don't take up so much room. You can have them in your van, because when someone says, can you come and give me a quote? The problem I find now is I'm so busy in the day, when I stop to do quotes, it's making my day longer and putting time pressure on me, especially for those customers that have got a designated time thereafter due to hospital appointments or something like that they've got. So what I tend to find is give them a business card. And my wife obviously works with me, a family business. I tell them to get in touch with her, and then basically she'll sort out a time at their convenience to come round and go for a quote, and she'll go for everything I would have done. And it just allows me, with Matthew and Sophie, to just crack on and try and plough through the work the best we can. Because you all know, you start and you finish, and there's a lot of things that go wrong in between. So I find business cards, I think, are better to have in your van than going around putting out flyers. There's nothing wrong, I suppose, in the first few months, but yeah, these take up less room, a lot easier, hand them out, and if someone is really interested, they will get in touch with you. It's difficult in the beginning because you're handing out flyers, you're trying all this stuff, you're working out your quoting and all that kind of stuff, and then you think it's brilliant that you've got a customer, but then you're disheartened because probably the first 70% of your customers are just after a one-off clean, and they don't become a regular, and it gets disheartening. But over time, you start to get more regular customers, and what you'll find is more and more people, especially when the name gets out there, or they see all your branding, I suppose, on your van, and you're looking the part and you're busy, you become more popular. And then the people who are seeing you out are not the people out for a one-off clean. They want monthly or 8 weekly cleans, a regular clean, basically. So yeah, branding is important to me, and I found it good. Right, moving on to how I got my branding then. Well, basically what I did is this, when I was coming out of the military, what they were telling us to do on my resettlement when it came to branding was go on Companies House, and then all you want to do is do a bit of research for the name you're after, and then see if it's free, basically. Once you know that's free, you then know you could probably register that company. So I formed a limited company, even though I'm self-employed. So I'm a sole trader and a limited company, but the limited company's in dormant mode. So this protects your name. So Crystal Clean Windows Limited, that's mine. It's protected, but I'm trading obviously as a sole trader in the same name. That way, if someone else was to set up the company name, they couldn't then turn around and tell me I need to change my name, which then means I need to change all my logo. So as well with the logo, what I've done is I went on the IPO, is it intellectual property? I've got it somewhere. I can't remember now, but it's basically a government website, and you go to trademark your logo. So I made my logo up, got it trademarked as well. So that's on all my website, all my branding for the business cards and everything else. So that's protected. So again, that way it's not going to cost me a fortune to get me van re-sign written. So it's worth the money. I think it was £150 to get my logo trademarked, or 120, I can't remember, and it lasts for 10 years. Plus they'll always let you know when it's due for you to redo the same thing, and anyone's trying to trademark something similar, you get notified as well. And then I think it's costing me at the moment now, last year, £150 a year through the accountant to run a limited company in dormant mode, because obviously there is paperwork for that. Yep, Jed. I don't know if a comment's going to come up. Here we go. Yeah, I totally agree. If a customer is going to reach out to you, they're going to be a better customer. You do get some walk-ups and they turn out to be good customers, don't get me wrong. But I think having your branding and all that kind of stuff, or like I say, when someone comes up passing a business card and trying to explain you're really, really busy at the moment, you haven't got time to do a quote, but for them to get in touch, because if they get in touch, you know they really want you. And then obviously if they don't, then maybe they wasn't after a regular clean anyway. Well, that's certainly what I find. But going back to me logo, so I've got my name on company's house, checked that, secured the name by forming a limited company in dormant mode. I've then trademarked my logo. But how did I get my logo? I thought of things in my head, but I'm obviously decided to go on a website called Fiverr. I don't know if it's fiverr.com, but it's spelled Fiverr. And I think it cost me either £5 or £15, I can't remember, for someone to design my logo. There's some people that have far more money than that and some, a lot less. But I went for this particular guy because I think what you paid for was them to do a design, send you the design, and I had up to 3 chances to refine it. And by the second one, I was happy with what he come up with. I just gave him basically my colour scheme that I was after, and I asked for a crystal in the word. So when you see the O in crystal clean windows, if I can get this one up for you, you can see where the O is on windows. He come up with that idea and put in the crystal there, and I thought, yep, that's for me, mint. So that was how I got that designed, trademarked, and protected my company name. Once I'd got all that, that's where I then went off to go to get my van sign written. My van to be sign written cost me at the time, this is going back 5 and a bit years, £400. And basically I just said to the guy, here's the design for me logo. He come up with some other ideas because obviously that's his job. So I gave him a bit of free rein. And then obviously he come out, showed me his design, which I was really happy with. And then he put it all on. And then, yeah, my van was all done. Day one, went out window cleaning. I've got all my marketing done, my logo done, my branding, trademarked name. It's all protected and van all done. And yeah, it felt really good. So the sign written van, that's definitely, a must-have in my eyes. I know everybody's different and got their own feelings about it, but there's loads of people who comment that they see my van all over the place. And those who've been trying to think about running out of the house to get me, but by the time they finish what they're doing, I'm gone. When they see me driving around because they're driving somewhere else, it kind of rejogs their memory again. And then they sort of like will pick up that phone to give you a ring. So yeah, sign mark van's really, really good. Gets you noticed. You're seen about. In fact, I had some customers worried that I was a franchise because they used to say, you're a franchise. And I'd be like, no, I've done all this myself. I'm just a one-man band. But that's grown to a family business now. And I think that was a bit off-putting to some people because they probably felt that I was going to be charging loads of money and I guess not do a very good job. Whereas someone working for themselves, it's your livelihood. You're going to put your heart and soul into it. Make sure you do a really good job because it's important to you and you need them regular customers to get a regular wage. So yeah, I suppose there's that side of it as well where it could put potential people off. But when word spreads, it's the biggest advertisement in the world anyway. You get one person, they'll speak to their cousins and their cousins, uncles or whatever, and you start getting lots of families in the local area. Or that's how it's worked for me. And of course, when people are asking things, next door, that's a good place to go and advertise as well. It's like Facebook, but for grown-ups. And it puts you in touch with your neighbourhoods and obviously hence the name next door. And a lot of people recommend you on there and that gets you a lot of work. So, yeah, you've got Facebook as well, but what I found is on Facebook when I started, it was attracting for me the wrong customers. I was getting people who are just off for the one-off cleans and were going to try and knock you down on price. Or I'd find when I get there, they weren't always going to be in, or it's hard, and I was just wasting time. So I've kind of stayed out of Facebook. But I know for a lot of people it works in the groups for your local villages, for example. But for me, I find Nextdoor better for that. I don't really advertise out on the marketing because I'm pretty fully booked with what I can handle, to be honest. And I don't really want to start attracting too much because I hate saying no, but I'm finding I'm having to because you've got to look after your customers that you've got, and especially ones over the years that have stuck with you. So customer loyalty, and you be loyal to your customer back. That's kind of my thinking on it. They'll look after you, basically. So another thing I find that's good about branding is because your reputation will walk before you. So again, when you're driving down the road, people see a van, that's just advertising your presence. People have heard about you and it's jogging their memory, and they will make that phone call that they've been meaning to for the last month or whatever. So yeah, just doing a really good job. You're advertising who you are. You're not hiding. You're trying to, I'm here sort of thing. And yeah, you're showing confidence in yourself and your ability, who you are, what you're doing, what you stand for. And you just, I don't know. I always concentrate on the job, on the window, and I work backwards from that. That's my first priority, is doing a good job. And like I say, I just work myself backwards, and you learn things as you go. But branding, yeah, definitely do it, I would say. And you can get help from families and friends, or like I did, used Fiverr. That helped me big time. No problems, Ched. I have been thinking about that for about 2 years ago. I got to the point where I felt we could push getting a second van. Up till then, I was always worried about getting a second van and saying I'll only get it when I've got the work there for it. But that will not work in theory, because there's no way one van could do the work of two vans or even 1.5, for example. I just knew the way things were going, the amount of people that are asking me, and I was starting to get in a position where I'd have to say no. I just thought if I just brought another van, as long as I could afford the running costs of it, the work will come, and it will probably within a year or two be just as full as the one van that I've got, because people are seeking you out. So the thing that put us off was the price increase going up with fuel, and then obviously the cost of living going up so bad. The last thing I wanted to do is go out and get another loan, business loan, sorted out, and commit myself for another 5 years to perhaps something I don't know how the situation's going to be in the next 5 years. With the price of living going up, we're worried, thinking we're going to lose a lot of customers, because you're not a necessity. You are to some people, especially those who have got illnesses or because of age are no longer able to clean the windows themselves, and they want the windows cleaned, especially when they look out of them all day. That's their world. So therefore they're going to need you. But for some people, you're just a nicety. So to save money, you're going to be one of the first sort of people maybe to go away so that they can save money, because we're all in the same boat. And that's what I was worried about again. But it hasn't really affected me that much, luckily. We have lost a couple of customers due to things like this, and I completely understand where they're coming from. But we are kind of tinkering maybe with the idea of a second van, because I was looking at getting 2 teams of 2, so my wife would come out in the van as well. And I was trying to say it's kind of a reset, really, where we could start looking at finish earlier, slowly add on more work until we've got the 2 vans going out, getting what we need and finishing at a reasonable time, rather than keep working late into the evenings, day after day. And obviously you all know you've got all that admin to do in the evenings when you get back as well. So yeah, still thinking about it. I'm also know it's double the cost. I haven't had a lot of good luck with my van. I've had an engine replacement, an engine rebuild, and that's all cost money. But yeah, you want to do it, you knuckle down, you find a way out of it. So we've got all through that. What we do use is the family car. My kids and my wife come out on that on the big jobs, and we team up, and my wife goes out in the car doing quoting. I had thought maybe in a small van would look better for the quotes, and then in time you could slowly probably build it up, even if it's DIY stuff, to make it into a window cleaning van, or just save the money. And I'll be happy to get another install actually, because I was happy with my van. It's all done through X-Line, hence the orange in my logo. So yeah, that's basically all. I've probably covered everything I want to do with branding. I'm not sure. I don't know if any of you guys have got any other ideas. If so, stick them in the comments. By the way, if you've got a comment at all, a question, in the comments, if you put a Q on there, I can do a search and I'll find them easier. But I try and keep my eye on the comments all the time anyway. So just throw stuff up and then we'll go through stuff as we go along. And I'd love it if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. It's free and all that lot. But no, seriously, thank you for coming in here and watching me do these. I look forward to doing them on the Friday. I'm thinking about it all week. What can I do? Talk about, make a subject up, that sort of thing, and just keep going for it, really. I'm looking forward to not working tomorrow. I've got me Saturdays back after reorganising my schedule. I can highly recommend using Squeegee. In the beginning, I didn't use Squeegee. I tried doing it all myself, but then I found Squeegee, the potential in it. I've used it. Now I wouldn't use anything else. So that's got me my Saturdays back, basically. It's only one Saturday a month we work. A couple of big jobs that we can't squeeze in a week. So we just work that one Saturday. All right, I'll wrap it up there, everyone. Thanks very much. Cheers, Ched. Thanks for tuning in. Top subscriber there. Good luck to Type Mark as well. I don't know if you're still watching, mate, but I hope it's going well for you, because I know you've kind of like first started and everything. Just keep at it. It'll all come to you. Okay, everyone. Have a nice weekend.